Amongst the many awesome things that the state of Kerala has to offer, its colourful heritage, folk art and people have always excited us the most. In this leg of our journey, we spent time in 3 small towns of North Kerala exploring and people watching. We discovered many ancient art forms, ate different kinds of food, walked a few rustic neighborhoods and maybe visited a temple or two. But the highlight of this leg, well, at least for us, was understanding quite literally, as cliche as it may sound, why Kerala is considered the God's own country. Welcome to Malabar, everyone. Alright everyone, how's it going? This episode is going to be all about the culture and heritage of Kerala. We are in this district of Palakkad right now, in a neighborhood called Kalapati. Kalapati is an Agraharam. Agraharam are these old Brahmin neighborhoods, roads lined up by rustic row houses with rusty old doors and windows, with thatched roofs, with colorful paints and even more colorful inhabitants. So we are here today on this beautiful morning to kind of get a sneak peek into this neighborhood and also do what we do the best lately, which is take our morning walks with some sweet talks. So let's go. So I was reading up about this place this morning, and what I figured from the research that I did was that these neighborhoods are predominantly Brahmin. Majority of the houses that you see around here, they are close to 200 years old, and they have the look of a 200-year-old building. Though we see signs of modernity and some of the buildings are looking a bit dilapidated, they still exist and they still hold that rustic charm. Okay, this was not planned, but then we figured that 2 to 3 hours is as much as we can go without having food. So we found this South Indian restaurant here. So we thought we might as well, now that we are here, go and build some idli vada.
I can smell the breakfast. When you know there's a crowd, you walk into the restaurant, no questions asked, because you know the food is a draw. Sambar is next level.
I told you, man.
So good. Nothing beats good old-fashioned filter coffee.
Elixir of happiness.
In a very short time here, we've got a sense of the heritage architecture and the traditions around which this area is built. Now, the area itself has several of these agraharams or neighborhoods, and at the end of each street you have a temple. We also saw that there was a procession which was going on the street where they were collecting rice and grains from all the households for a feast that was going to happen in the temple. That showed us the level of trust people have and the level of familiarity that they have with each other, that you can go down the street and collect grains for a community feast. The other intriguing thing that we noticed was that we heard a lot of Tamil around here. So we found that pretty fascinating, that there's this pocket of culture within another culture.
Alright everyone, we are in this little less known town of Ottapalam, close to the Palakkad district. We are here to witness this ancient art form called Tolpavakuta, which is nothing but shadow puppetry. I am super pumped about it, so let's go.
Holding a piece of history right here. This is 800 years old, this puppet. But man, look at the intricate work. It's just so precious, huh? have been here since the crack of dawn at this place called the Andalur Kavu. Now, when we read up a little bit, we learned that kavus are like these sacred groves in the middle of these thick forests. And back in the day, they were created so that you can protect these forests. And the idea of that really resonated with us. The fact that you try to preserve nature and culture together, and you take responsibility for the forests around you, and you treat all the beings of the forests as your own. Because there are no walls, this whole space feels kind of welcoming, and also the trees around are just such a good addition because you feel like you're a part of nature while also being in a very sacred space. Both Shravan and I resonate with this idea that nature is as close to spirituality as you can get, and this kind of embodies that philosophy in its own way. You have people of every age coming here to pray, and it feels like everyone has their own way of being spiritual, and you can see that because almost everyone has a different ritual that they follow, like a different way of doing things.
So I'm not a very religious person, I have to admit that. But then what I love about coming to temples is that I get to see people. To see people with all that, positive morning energy, with different kinds of clothes, all freshly taken bath, just about to start their day. It somehow makes me feel positive because majority of the people who come to pray in the morning, they come to a temple because they want their day to go good. It's great to see all those smiling faces, especially kids. People watching is my favorite thing when we come to a temple. Alright everybody, it's a beautiful day here in this town of Thalassery, and I'm very very happy, I must say, that I finally made it to this town because I've been frequenting Thalassery restaurants in Bangalore for the last 5 years. To be specific, we are in this old town sort of an area of Thalassery. It's called the Thayyangadi Street, aka the Heritage Street. And why is it called the Heritage Street? I mean, come on, look at it. You feel like every building has a story to tell, and every building has its own colors, right?
Walking through these streets and there are like these graffitied walls and pop art murals all around you, except it's on these old heritage buildings, right? And part of you is going like, wow, what is this explosion of color? Part of you is like, wait, is this supposed to be here? Because these are like really old buildings, right? It's like a nice churmuri of things.
I love the contrast in the colors of the buildings here, man. Perfect two color tone combinations everywhere. So, white and teal, yellow and grey, white and rust.
Yeah.
Smells great, man.
Really?
Smells great. I already have a good feeling.
Just had a meal at Paris restaurant, which is one of the oldest restaurants around here. It's been here since 1942. We heard that the person who founded Paris restaurant wanted to recreate the authentic dum biryani. We had the vegetarian version. It was amazing for us, but I'm sure for meat eaters it's heavenly. And that lemon tea, man, oh my god, to die for.
All the food that we ate, which is like 2 parathas, 4 lemon teas, 1 veg biryani, it's about 200 bucks. And that's like insane value for money, right? I feel like tipping 100% right now because the food is that good. Now before I start, I'd want to make a confession. One of the biggest reasons why we decided to even set foot to Kerala was for what we were about to witness this night. So here we were, 3 a.m. in the morning, in a remote village of Malabar, and little did we know that this would turn out into one of the most unforgettable nights of our lives. An open theatre under a dense canopy of a forest, a crowd that spanned multiple generations, a blast-beating percussion, and a supercharged atmosphere, all waiting for an act by performers from a different realm. Now I have to admit, we were a little skeptical. 20 years of the internet often makes us feel that we have seen it all. But have we? In retrospect, this was a 3-act play. At least that's how my uneducated mind saw it. Ironically, it began with a showdown. A full display of power. Through movements, through colors, and of course their aura. It's a shame that we have to show this through 2-dimensional screens that cannot cater to anything more than 2 senses. And this was beyond our 5th. As the night progressed, things started to calm down. People had already submitted to the divine spirits and were standing in line to be blessed and to be in the side of mercy. Even the god of football was here to submit. As the drummers went back to sleep, we spent our time recovering from our shock and understanding what we had just witnessed. On the lighter side, there was food, which we regretfully missed out on, because our attention was drawn into something else that was cooking up. Oh yes, they weren't done. They had only set a stage for what was about to come next. I guess it was time for the final face-off, and before we could notice, the burning coal had turned into a raging flame. For a trial by fire, an act that confirmed that we weren't looking at any mortal spirits. These were gods in their own country.